Hi, this is Mike Chapman, aka Mesmeric. I'm here for Star Wars Sweden, and we're here to talk a little bit with Hal Hood from BioWare. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. My first question is, you've been developing this game for a couple of years now, and you're coming close to release, 2 more months. What's your feeling about all this?
Excitement.
Yes.
It's a thrill. Yeah, it's great to finally to know that players are going to get a chance to experience what we've been working on all this time. And based on how things have gone today with this event and letting people play our game and get to see for themselves what we've been doing, everybody really seems to like it. They're very excited. So and that makes me feel good about what we've done.
Excellent. And what are you actually now? You're 2 months.
We are launching.
What are you doing now? What things are you doing?
Well, you know, obviously it's a lot of the polish has been done, but you know, I mean, the reality is MMOs. It's a living game, right? It's a live game. You know, there's always more to do, and the reality is we're going to continue to produce content for this game. We want players to know that the story will go on. There will be more to do. That there is no end game, there's elder game content. So, and when you reach the elder game, you're still going to have a great epic story. You're still going to have really exciting things to do in the game.
Okay, great. And also I have some questions from some of our guild members.
Great.
And one of them is, which I kind of find interesting, when you reach level 50, what's going to be the gear, the look I'm going to have? Is it going to be epic?
Oh,
so
yes.
Everyone else around that isn't 50 is going to look at me and say, God damn, I want to be here.
Yes, that's the goal.
That's the goal.
We want to make sure that players who reach those upper levels, that they have gear that when they're running past lower level characters will be like, I want that. So yeah, that's our goal. I think that's the goal of any great MMO. You know, that's part of the progression and part of the incentive for lower level players to push harder and play harder and get really good at the game, so that one day they can have all that great gear as well. But then there's always more to be had.
Absolutely. What about being able to customize your gear? I mean, there's been a lot of questions about that. So how far can we go?
You know, obviously we do have some ways to ensure that all of your gear adheres to a particular color scheme and things like that, so it feels like it's all matching. But really, that's a question for the art team, which I'm friends with members of our art team, and I love the work that they do. I'm very excited about the look of our game. But I know that we have people working very hard on that to ensure that players will have the opportunity to take on a lot of different appearances, and at all different levels in the game.
Okay. Looking at games like Aeon and Rift, there's been a possibility to dye your outfit. Is that something
that's sort of what I was talking about a moment ago, with the notion of being able to color coordinate your gear so that everything fits with kind of a certain theme, a certain color scheme. So that sort of thing.
Are they pre-made, or can I choose those colors myself by buying dyes or creating?
I don't know the exact mechanics of how all that's going to work, and I wouldn't want to say something to mislead you. So.
Okay. Fine, great. I think that answers this question. One of the other questions that I have about the graphics in the game. Is this a DX9 based game? Will you push that further in the future using DX10, maybe 11?
The reality is, one of our stated goals when we began designing this game was that we wanted it to be something that would be accessible to as many players as possible. We wanted it to be something that players with all different levels of access to technology would get a chance to be able to play. So we're always pushing to ensure that the most players can play our game. So if we encounter a situation where we can retain all of our audience, all of our players, and push up to the next level, then certainly we'll do that. But the first goal is to make sure that all of our players who get into the game will have a chance to continue playing it.
Okay, great. One aspect of Star Wars that I think is huge is space battles. There are some in the game that I've understood.
Some incredibly epic ones.
Epic ones,
Yeah.
right. Are they linear, are they free, or how do they actually work?
Redefine your question a little bit. Help me understand what you're asking. So,
Are they, what I mean linear, I mean you go from point to point, you have to...
right.
Yeah.
Yes, so within the battle, yes, they are linear battles. You will go from point to point. They're not free roaming. And the reason for that is we wanted to create a cinematic space battle experience. We wanted it to be that when you jumped into one of these space battles, it felt like you were experiencing one of those great moments from the movies. So, you know, you're going to have the starfighters screaming past, you know, blasting you as they go by. You're going to have the enormous capital ships moving in, firing turbo lasers at you or at each other. You know, space debris, asteroids, you know, beautiful backdrops, all of that. And the way to ensure that we presented that to players was to sort of, you know, put it in a more linear path. But even within that linear path, you have tremendous maneuvering room, right? You can maneuver around, you can collide with things, you can clip asteroids and all of that. You know, you choose what you're going to focus on shooting at various points and things like that. So you still have a lot of control, but it just creates, it's more immersive, I think, and it keeps you focused on your battle objectives, and it prevents players from accidentally wandering off into nowhere space and sort of getting away too far away from the battle.
Okay. But are there any thoughts of maybe expanding that in the future, making it more instance-like?
I can't really say, but you know, we're always going to be looking for ways to improve our game experience for our players, and so we'll see what happens.
Okay, excellent. Great.